Okay, so if everyone can switch their videos off, microphones off. So the intention for today's session was really to engage with the movement of energy in the seasons. So we're approaching the summer solstice, although the weather seems to be have turned quite grey after the amazing sunshine we've just had over the past couple of weeks. And we were going to focus on the third eye and the crown chakra, or the energy centers, which are our light centers. So the crown actually relates to our master gland, or our pineal gland, which really serves the entire energy center through the body. At the end of the day, we are light beings. Majority of our cells actually communicate through a liquid medium of water and oil, of phospholipids, along with obviously a fraction of elemental matter. So some of the breath work I introduced today will arouse or open or stimulate the point between the brow lines, the third eye. It will also help clear the sinuses. Many of you may be feeling symptoms of hay fever. So this will help clear and dispel those symptoms. But I'm going to keep today's session quite relaxed, a bit of a slow flow. I may introduce some Qigong moves so that you can connect deeply with this invisible life force, and really tune in to the changing of the seasons as we begin to walk into summer. Please work again within your own comfort zone. So tune into your own energy, how you're feeling right now, and enjoy the session. So let's begin. I'm just going to change this. So a lot of it's going to be chair-based work. We may also lie down on the floor just to support the spine. So let's begin in seated posture. So we can just come back into our body wherever we are in our headspace. Just reminding you to sit comfortably in the chair, starting with a body scan, stretching those feet out in front, sliding them back until your ankles are in line with your knee. Moving the flesh, peeling the skin of the thighs away, releasing the sit bones as we sit tall. Shrugging the shoulders, noticing any areas of restriction, tension, placing your hand over or across the space where you're feeling a little bit of restriction, and just acknowledging the pain or the inflammation. Could be around the stomach. If you're carrying too much anxiety, you've got too much on your mind, We often find that our digestive system is the first to pick up on the signals and become slightly inflamed. So a really nice technique to begin with is just placing your palms on top of your navel. Again, focusing on the breath. So we're going to sip the air through our nose and direct it into the navel, gently peeling the navel away from the spine and expanding the space within our stomach. Pushing our hands away. Holding the breath for 2 as we gently exhale. And again, sipping the air, drawing it into the belly, into the deep base of the lower back. Try to use that breath to massage the kidneys, puffing up the sacrum and expanding the belly, drinking that air as slowly as you can. Noticing how you're creating the space and expansion between the hip joint and releasing lower lumbar, sacrum area. And exhaling with intention slowly. By regulating the breathing, we find ourselves moving away from the thoughts that create this feeling of heaviness upon our shoulder girdle and our hips. We slowly begin to release some of that tension, distension around our belly. Use the hands to slowly palpate, beginning from the right hip and the psoas. Really using the fingertips to peel the skin around the abdomen, under the diaphragm. So you should be able to perhaps sink your fingertips slightly underneath the diaphragm to create some space. Working all the way around towards the left, homing into the colon, down to the pelvis. And then placing your right hand, right palm on top of your left. And just gently massage the belly in a clockwise direction, slowly. Again, guided by the rhythm of your own breathing. Slide the palms from left to right across the abdomen, almost as though you're kneading dough. Really tuning into the sensation almost being able to rearrange the organs that sit within the space. And just bringing your hands, your palms to rest. Again, drinking the air, sipping it, guiding it into the belly, and then expanding the ribs, the gills of the fish, your side body, feeling the space underneath your armpits. So there's a deeper hollow. So there's this natural expansion of the mid-body. And exhale. Last breath, so drinking that air, expanding the belly and the rib cage and the back, the hollow between the shoulder blades. You're puffing up the space, the back of the heart. Feeling the whole cavity expand. Exhale in your own time. So what we're doing here is really guiding our breath and our thoughts to slow down and practice the pause, so that even when we are consumed by busyness, we can connect to our breath awareness and learn to navigate those thoughts and feel more empowered, rather than letting the thoughts dictate our energy. Feeling sacrum, or the heaviness of the sacrum as it's anchored on the seat. Shrug your shoulders up towards your ears. Peel the skin back. Just rotate one shoulder and then the next in your own time, in your own rhythm. Warming up our body. Placing your hands to rest them on your shoulders as we draw circles in a clockwise direction with the tip of our elbow. Again, notice where you have slight restriction. For me, it's my right shoulder. Just move into that space slowly, articulating it away from the pain. Repeat on the other side. Let's just turn that anti-clockwise. Releasing, clasping the hands, bringing them in front of you, so really just stretching them away. Massaging into each finger, starting with the thumb and the web between the index finger and the thumb. Really pressing into this pressure point, just a natural pain relief. Massaging the index finger, really pushing into the finger joints, and the middle finger, really working the skin, the ring finger, and the little finger. Moving into the inner palm. Forget just how much we're using our hands, especially if you're using the desktop workstations. Rotating the wrist. Let's just repeat that on the other side. Again, really massaging the joint of the thumb and the inner palm. Slowly, deeply, take your time. No rush. Index finger, middle finger, ring finger, and then the little finger. And the wrist, a few rotations, clockwise and anti-clockwise. I want you to use your right hand, thumb and index finger actually to walk up your forearm. So really massaging the muscles of the forearm till you get to the crease of the elbow joint. And you may feel a little bit of pain. There's a little crevice just there. It's a pressure point, which may be quite sore to touch. Very good for releasing tennis elbow, any pain across the shoulder. We're going to just continue massaging up towards the shoulder. Just Just repeat that on the other side. Once you've massaged top of the shoulders. Noticing the difference between the left and the right. And that pressure point there in the crease of the elbow, in the inner elbow, if it is very inflamed or tender, it's actually telling you the condition of your digestive tract, and in particular your intestine. It's a very good bowel release point. So for anyone suffering with a little bit of constipation or emotions that are sitting in the belly, it's a great way of letting them go. Let go of what doesn't serve your peace of mind and your happiness. Again, walking up the arm, massaging, really pinching into the top of the shoulder muscles, into the neck and the back of the neck. Clasping your hands behind your neck. We're just going to give ourselves a little bit of a neck extension. By first drawing your chin to your chest, allowing the thumbs to sink in to the top of the collarbone, and then lifting your chin, your forehead up towards the ceiling, just stretching your elbows to either side to form a T. Really scanning, seeing how that feels. And then draw your chin back towards your chest. Relieve that. And let's just repeat that one more time, just seeing if we can move slightly deeper into that stretch. Notice how it moves the spine. You should be able to feel a sensation in your pubic bone if you've released the tension around your neck. So remember, the neck is connected to your sacrum. So if you've got lower back pain or a compressed lumbar, you'll also mirror that across the base of the neck. That's why sitting tall in spine neutral is a very easy way to allow the body to come into its state of equilibrium. Okay. From here, I'm going to begin with some Kapalabhati, or it's called the shining skull breath. So it really focuses on releasing the third eye and brightening our mind. And really any posture that's comfortable for you will do. So if you prefer to stay in seated, please do so. If you'd like to, you can come in, bring the soles of your feet together, slightly tiptoeing or flexing your toes so that your hips are open in a butterfly stance. I generally bring my fingertips, so the thumb to thumb, index to index, middle, ring, and little together so that they're connected. And just allow your hands to fall naturally, stretching them apart. Now with Kapalbhati, it's passive inhale and active exhalation. So what do I mean by that? We're going to draw the breath into the belly. So we're expanding the belly and the chest. With an inhale, and then forcefully exhaling, drawing the navel to the back of the spine. So it sounds a bit like this. Inhale, and then so my navel is really pushing itself back towards the spine, expelling any air that I have and creating the sound as we exhale through our nose. Please be careful if you have or suffer from high blood pressure or any heart-related condition. Perhaps try 1 or 2 reps and then practice some deep breathing. This breathing does really, it could make you quite dizzy. So just be mindful about that and stop when you feel, if you feel uncomfortable. So let's do 5 reps, and then we're going to go into a bit of 3 reps of deep breathing, and then another 5 reps of Kapalbhati. So inhale, and expel. And again, taking a deep breath in. Exhale slowly. Tune into how you're feeling. And the next rep, inhale. Expand the chest. This time 10 reps. So inhale, expand the chest, and exhale. Deep inhale. Full expansion of body with the breath. Really feel your shoulders relax as you inhale. Guided exhale. Before we do 1 more rep of 10. Ready? Placing your feet, soles of the feet, back on the floor. Resting the palms of your hand on your knees. Spreading your knees apart. We're going to go into a gentle twist. So we're using our palms on our knees. We're going to turn towards the left. If you want, you can place your left hand behind the chair to really wring out or rinse out any air in the stomach. Going to center, hinge forwards at the hips. Exhaling. Inhale, sit up. Let's repeat that on the other side. So pressing down with the palm of our left hand on our left knee and really twisting, so bringing the left shoulder down towards the right knee, using the right hand behind, holding the chair behind and just twisting. So it's opposite shoulder to opposite knee. Really feel the twist, the cross-core twist in the body. Back to center. Again, hinging from the hips. What I'm doing here is I'm placing my thumbs at the top of my thighs, lifting or twisting the skin, the flesh of the thighs away from the midline, which releases my hips and allows me to shrug my shoulders back as I'm hinging forwards. It really is a beautiful stretch, not only for the spine, but to release any tension we've got in our shoulders, as well as squeezing out anything we're holding in the belly. A lot of space. And then sitting up in your own time. Just walking your feet back to the midline. Ankles in line with the knees. Knees in line with the hips. Scanning how you're feeling. Hopefully that breath would have cleared some of the inflammation or the emotions that you've been holding in the belly, as well as providing a little bit of energy between the brow line, so there's some clarity, a bit more brighter in the face. So let's move into standing. If you have a stick handy, then please grab hold onto it. If you don't worry. You can try it without a stick. If you've got a stick, what we're going to do here is really some spine work. So some extensions. Placing the right hand on the top of your stick, clasping your left hand over the right, spread your feet out so that they're in line with your hips. Soft bend your knees. And really allow the spine to be guided by the movement of the stick. So we're just leaning out. Lengthening the tailbone. So imagine you've got a heavy kangaroo tail that's sinking your sacrum or your tailbone towards the ground. But as you're doing that, you're really being led by the broomstick to lengthen your spine. So this is in preparation for downward dog. And then with the breath, we're going to come back up. And just bring your chin to your chest. So exhale, lengthening the spine. Inhale, rising up, chin to chest. This time just allowing the broomstick to fall towards the left as we go into gentle twist from the waist. So it's opposite shoulder to opposite hip, cross core work. And back to center. And then the other side. Really releasing the side body. The slower the movement and the more engaged you are with your breath, the greater the relief. If you find two hands are too intense, you could do this one hand at a time. Back to center. And the other side. With a bit more focus on cross core, the navel, going to do some opposite leg to opposite shoulder and opposite hand. This is a bit of a qigong move. So here what we're going to do is, with our in-breath, we're going to lift the opposite knee to the opposite hand with the breath. We're going to sink in to that right foot as an inhale, we lift it up, and then exhale, we bring it down. And then the opposite side, lifting the left foot up with the right hand and bring it down. So it becomes very fluid, guided with the breath. Almost as though you're moving through treacle. And you may find that your fingers become quite sensitive and begin to tingle. Cross-core work also challenges our left and right brain and our coordination center. So again, we're tuning into our third eye and crown chakra. Another really lovely movement we can practice is just allowing the hands to move away on an inhale and on an exhale. They draw closer together. And in doing so, it's almost as though we're stretching this invisible golden thread between our fingertips and our palms. So soft bend the knees, place your feet at 45 degrees. Heavy tailbone, neutral spine, shoulders relaxed. Breathing in, deep belly. It's the movement that guides, no, it's the breath that guides the movement. Exhale. Slower the movement, the more intense the feeling between the fingertips. Golden orb of light, invisible field force that surrounds us. This practice is really simple, and the more we tune into the movement and the breath, the quicker we are able to step away from the noise in our mind or the clouds that prevent the light from penetrating our crown chakra. Next movement, we can just drop the hands down towards the earth. Inhale, raise them and open them. Exhale and drop them. Very slow, fluid movement. We often find that when we're too busy being busy and we're seeking solutions, we can't find them because there's just far too much we're carrying in our head. We fail to see the solutions. The moment we step into our body through these simple practices, we allow the mind to empty. And it's at that moment when the vessel feels a bit like a void that we receive the aha moments, wisdom, intuition, inspiration. Okay, so if you're feeling any sensation between the hands, I want you to expand it. Really play with this ball of invisible mass or entity. Design and create with it whatever you desire. Allow it to serve your peace. Draw it into the navel. And massage the belly. In Eastern wisdom, our belly and our brain are connected. Where the belly deals with our emotional dialogues, our brain deals with the intellect. Okay. Just release the shoulder. We're going to, let's just kneel onto the chair if it's safe to do so. Kneeling onto the chair. Just going to place my left elbow on the top of the chair. If you find that's difficult, you can kneel on the floor in the same way. If your knees are a little bit sore and painful, please use either double up the mat, which you can do, or you can place a towel to cushion your knees. We're not going to be here for long. Just place your elbow on the chair. Bring your hips to the edge of the chair so that you feel supported. I want you to just gently allow the shoulder socket to move freely. Just releasing any restrictions that you may be feeling there. Allow it to swing in a clockwise direction. And anti-clockwise. Notice if it's moving freely and in its own accord, or whether you're still controlling it. It's one of the hardest things most people find to do is just let go. Like completely let go of the shoulder. Because we're always carrying, or we feel as though we must carry our load. It's so liberating when we learn the art of surrender. And it's only through the breath that that enables it to happen. Okay. We're going to thread the right elbow, hand, arm, through our left. Just walking back with the knees to a tabletop position and literally walking your fingertips underneath the left arm, which is being supported by the chair, to give another twist, and also cross core work. Breathe into that space and see if you can move a bit further. Really pivoting from the hip. Twisting your head to face the direction of your right hand. Then come back to center. Let's repeat that on the other side. Just turn this around. So releasing that left shoulder socket, allowing it to move freely. Noticing which side is easier to swing than the other. North, south, east, west, clockwise, anti-clockwise. Again, just crawling back. Walking the fingertips of the left hand underneath the right arm, allowing your head to follow as you go into a side twist. Breathing into the spine, really expanding the whole of the spine when you're in that pose. So what we're doing is really twisting or wringing out the spine from the base to the top of the crown. Just repeat that again on the other side. Maybe we can hold these positions for as long as we like. If you're about to watch the football, enjoy. From here, just going to go into a heart opening. So we're going to walk ourselves up to the edge of the chair, just like your hips are hugged by the edge of the chair. Use our hands to grasp the side of the chair as we peel our shoulders back, pinching the shoulder blades together, drawing the navel to the spine, long, neutral spine. Inhale, lift the heart. So you're lifting the chest up towards the ceiling as you allow your arms to fall to the side of the body and naturally hang, lifting your chin up, looking up towards the ceiling. As you slowly draw your body back, arching back, and see if you can use your fingertips to touch your heels. Most important part here is that you don't collapse the chest. The chest is moving upwards towards the ceiling. So big, happy heart, really long extension. You feel the base and the top of the sternum stretch. When you've had enough, peel yourself back. And from there, we're just going to come into an easy child's pose. You can either do this resting on the chair and sitting, drawing your seat bones back towards the top of your heels, or you can remove the chair and go straight down onto the mat, whatever's comfortable for you. Just take time to scan and see how you feel. Tune into the emotional dialogue in your hara, in your belly. A bit more freedom there. You're feeling a little bit more relaxed. Does the spine feel free? Stretch the arms out in front of you. And from there, come into seated position on your mat. Knees bent, soles of the feet on the mat. Placing your hands on your shin bones. Just going to do a couple of stretches before we go into Shavasana. So from here, breathe in, neutral spine. So we're hinging the hips forwards. Exhale, you're just going to release. It's almost as though we're just sinking back. A lovely stretch along the back of the spine, and by lengthening the arms against the resistance, against And again, sitting up tall. And just relaxing, sitting back. Stretching the legs out in front of you. You're just going to come to forward fold, forward bend. Two ways of doing this, depending on your flexibility, mobility. So from here, we're going to just peel the skin of our buttocks backwards, releasing the sit bones. Again, that allows our spine to sit straight naturally. Hinging from the hips, place your chair over your legs and just walk. Tiptoe, tip and your fingertips onto the chair to grab the back of the chair. That will aid you, help you to hinge forwards. It's very natural. Just move to your own flexibility. As we exhale, we fold forwards. You can place your head on the edge of the chair. Really make sure that your legs are kissing the ground, so they're active. The muscles are active. If you can move deeper, move the chair away. We stretch our left hand and right hand to the sole of the feet. So we wrap our fingers around the soles of the feet and hinge forwards until the chest moves towards the knees into a forward fold. With each breath, inhale, expand the back body. On an exhale, sink deeper into the forward fold. If you can't hold, or if it's a bit too challenging to hold the soles of your feet, you can grasp your ankles and use that to power your spine on an inhale, and on an exhale, sink deeper into the forward fold. Really feel the stretch behind your legs, all the way up to the sacrum, up the spine, to the crown of your head. It's quite an energizing pose. If you take your time to move into it. And when you've had enough, draw your spine up to seated, one vertebra at a time. So you come into a counter pose, sliding our buttocks forwards towards our heels and gently guiding our spine onto the mat. Straightening our legs. Placing our hands underneath our sacrum. Stretching so that your arms are hugged behind your back, legs straight. And with that, we're going to tilt our head back so that we're resting on the crown of our head. Our shoulders lift off the floor. Our heart is extended up towards the ceiling. So we come into Matshyasana. Stretch the toes so that they're long. Full body extension. And when you've had enough, come back to neutral pose. You can either lie there in Shavasana, spreading your legs, allowing your feet to fall to the side. If you find that this is hard on your lower back, you may wish to place a bolster underneath your knees, or you can rest your feet on top of the chair and just allow the hips to open, which releases any pressure off your sacrum and lower back. Allow your arms to fall to the side, palms facing up. Relax the shoulders, allow them to peel back. Allow the spine to imprint its memory upon your mat. So you come into relaxed pose, Shavasana and Yoga Nidra. Tuning in to body scan. Imagining the dark velvet indigo sky. The color of the third eye surround you. Light is the medicine of the future. When our mind is empty of thought that move across our crown, blocking the light from entering. We can choose to focus on the thoughts, or we can choose to let them pass, knowing that there's infinite space that exists between the thoughts that connect us, that vast indigo space, the energy of which communicates with our inner eye, and provides all the solutions we seek. But it's only when we become an empty vessel can the creative force move through. Inspiring creativity, manifesting our ideas into reality. Using breath as mantra, guide the unhelpful thoughts that cloud our vision. Search for the pause between two breaths to connect to the deep blue. Remember, your source is light. We are vessels with the ability to absorb light, through which we radiate joy. Connecting to the breath, sipping the air, massaging the spaces in your inner cosmos. connecting the stars. There are two ways of sharing light. First is to be the candle, and the other is the mirror that reflects the light. Om Shanti.